Digimon Tamers deserves a sequel season. Let me explain. More so, me just ranting about it. Hi, welcome to the Geek Out Room. Here we geek out about our favorite TV shows, movies, music, history, you name it, we're here to geek out about it. And today, we're talking about Digimon Tamers. You can find the audio episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You get the visuals, which is really just copyright stuff that I'm allowed to use on YouTube, not off YouTube. With that being said, let's get into some Digimon Tamers. Listen, man, this thing is really great. It's kind of polarized a little bit because there is one side that loves it, one side that hates it. There's not many people who are in the middle. I'm sure there are some, but not many. And my thing is, I get it. It's a series season that is drastically different from the previous two, which were connected and had the main cast in it, at least at some kind of extent in season 2. Season 3 was really a glorified product placement for the card game, is what a lot of people would say. I agreed to a very small extent, but the show is much more about just the cards, but also doesn't hurt to have the cards show every 2 seconds and scan actual pictures that are on the card that you can purchase in the store through packs. I get it. But to boil it down to just a show about cards, it's so disingenuous to the actual season. This season is probably the most mature season out of all of them. Because when you think about what happens to Jerry, which is this character, I believe her dad is... So she's Takuya's, which is the main character for the season. She is his classmate, and her dad runs, I believe, a bar or a restaurant. And she has a stepmom and I believe a half-brother, and her biological mom is dead, if I'm not mistaken. And so she deals with that already. On top of that, she has to deal... I mean, Jerry goes through it, man. Goes through it in this season. I'm going to be interchanging between series and season because season 3 and 4, respectively, of Digimon are vastly different in concept and design from seasons 1 and 2. So it really feels like its own series, like a different series of Digimon. So there's that. But anyway, so if you hear me changing between the two, that's why. But this season of Digimon is super impressive because it goes an extra mile of trying to not make, in my opinion, some mistakes season 2 makes. And also, I feel like they tried to level it up. The writers tried to level it up. Remember, Digimon's a card game, an anime, video game, that's it. There's no manga, there's no manga they're following, there's no one person source material. This is a different universe that's competing against one of the most popular brands in all of the world, which is Pokemon. And Digimon Tamers, because they use cards to help modify their digital partners, right? So they basically have their Digivices and has a little slit in there where you can swipe your Digimon card, and whatever's on that card it could be like an upgrade of some kind to modify your digital partner. So it could be like War Greymon's claws on the card. You scan it, and your partner can get War Greymon's claws for a little bit in a fight. Basically, it has like an endurance meter and kind of like breaks or something. Or you could have some type of like energy blast weapon, and they get one blast at it or something like that. So that's for those who haven't watched Tamers. That's really how it goes. And yes, do they use the cards? Of course, because they're trying to sell the cards, and also it's a big way for them to help fight, is to help modify their cards. They're actually using their Digivices in a way to make it more interactive and fun. And I think it's great. And also to sell the toys. It helps sell a lot of those Digivices. And to be honest, those Digivices were cool. It was like a Tamagotchi, except as a Tamagotchi for the toy. It was like a Tamagotchi Digivice with the ability to use cards to help fight it. And you can with Tamagotchi like toys, you kind of shake them and do things to help them, eat or help them stay alive or take care of your Digimon, especially when it's eggs, stuff like that. Dope toy. I had the original, lost it. I had Henry's Digivice, the green one. My brother had Takado's, which was the red one. And listen, Jerry goes through a lot of this season in this series, and Jerry pretty much is super depressed at one point because Leomon dies. Leomon dies, and Jerry goes on this huge depression and basically gets kidnapped by, I forgot which one of the, I think it was one of the divas, which was these Digimon that are based off the Chinese zodiac, I believe. And I think it was a monkey one that took Jerry and kind of like used her with whatever essence in the digital world. And it's a very mature story because it deals with depression. And season 1 dealt with depression in a certain way, and it's a theme that definitely is in Digimon. Digimon has at least one character that deals with depression and is a major focal point for that character's story, but also the overall story of the series or season. But Jerry just goes through a lot, man. Jerry goes through a lot, and I think it's Beelzemon that kills Leomon, if I'm not mistaken, or is one of the divas. I forgot. I said divas, probably devas is one of the pronunciations. But I'm gonna call it divas because they're divas, and it's hilarious to say it that way anyway. And I remember one of the biggest fights in the series, for me anyway, was Takado and Guilmon facing Beelzemon, which is this demon basically, because Itmon is basically this like demon that Itmon is his rookie form. I believe asked one of the Devas for like a power up or something, and they gave it to him, and he basically he skipped like all his forms, skipped from rookie all the way to Mega, which is insane. It's basically skipping, like Goku going from base form to like, he just got like, instead of doing Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, it's like Goku going from base form all the way to like Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wild. So he does that, and then the greatest moment, at least in my opinion, one of Takado's good moments as a leader, in my opinion, he's not my favorite main character, all the main characters in Digimon, but this is one of his really cool moments, is that him and Guilmon kind of have this moment where they want to fight together. So I believe the transformation, or that Digivolution, is biometrics, or like biometrics Digivolution or something like that. And basically they fuse together, become a Digimon. Peep season 4. So they do that, and they go and fight together, and becomes one of the greatest Digimon, one of the coolest looking Digimon in my opinion. Definitely my favorite design of the series. Definitely my favorite Guilmon design, because I don't really like a lot of Guilmon's Digivolutions. Let's be honest, he's a knockoff Agumon, which is something my friend kind of said, but like, they're both dinosaurs. They both have like this mecha dinosaur looking transformation as well, stuff like that. But Gallantmon is a knight. He goes from a dinosaur to a freaking knight with a round ass shield, look like a Captain America ass shield, a lance, and he's boxing Beelzemon. Like, they're going back, like he's whooping this dude's ass because they're pissed off. Beelzemon has done some dirty shit, and they just don't care. But that fight was dope. It was one of my favorites of the series, and really solidified Takado as one of the ones. He's one of the ones, man. Like, let's not get it twisted. I may not like him as much. He's one of the ones. Definitely like him way more than Davis. That's one of the cool things. And like, one thing this season has going for it is the characters, because where I think this season falters for a lot of people, including me at sometimes, is that the digital partners and the humans, they don't feel like their personalities, like they need each other. You know, like season 1 and 2, especially when you have a character in season 2 like Ken, like their Digimon really felt like the Digimon was like a personality, or like a part of their personality, or part of their soul that's missing. It's like that part, like, that they need to feel whole. Or when they come together, they're just like a true partnership. Like, one has what the other's lacking. That's a better way to put it. One has what the other's lacking. This season, season 3, didn't really feel that way as much. Unless it was kind of Rika and Renamon's relationship, I kind of put it there a little bit. But Renamon, I don't really like Renamon as a character too much. Renamon was kind of Renamon felt like kind of like a ninja maid to me, like one of those tropes in anime when the maids can like fight. Like Renamon felt like Alfred to me, except not as cool as Alfred. So I didn't really find the relationship too compelling. But Rika was an interesting character because Rika basically in season 3 is a Digimon card player and a champion. Like all these kids are Digimon card players, but Rika is like the champion, so she's like the best at the card game. And but she views Renamon as like a game, just like the card game. She viewed Renamon as like, hey, go kill other Digimon, absorb their essence, which is pretty much what it is. Pretty much in Digimon Tamers, another thing is you get stronger by basically killing other Digimon and basically absorbing them, like their digital essence, soul, whatever you want to say. It really is kind of savage. And you get pretty much XP like in the video game. And so Rika kind of like just goes and on a murdering spree, and just any Digimon that appears, Rika's fighting it. Now, granted, the Digimon were like some innocent Digimon that just like appeared and was chilling. They were causing some harm or about to or going to, so they had to be taken care of anyway. But Rika was on like a bloodthirsty path, and Renmon wasn't really about it. And so that was some friction, but Renmon was so like, I care about Rika, and I know Rika's intentions are just to make me stronger. I want to help Rika. I don't want to disappoint her. And over time, Rika comes around, and Rika's way more like, I like her character arc the most out of the 3 leads, like out of Takato, Rika, and Henry. I think Rika has the best trajectory. Henry's kind of neutral. I liked Henry's character because I feel like Henry was a good balance of both the characters, or out of the trilogy of them, or the 3 of them, the Trinity. I feel like Henry was a good balance of both their personalities, way more leaning to Takato's side, so I think that's why they got along so well. But Henry was a really good friend to Takato. I really liked Henry's character. I just feel like Rika had way more to do and way more like just overall personality. Like Rika just had personality and presence on screen. Takato wasn't really fitting for a leader for me until later on, and I like the development of him too. Like for me, his I'm him moment was really when Guilmon had to Matrix Digivolve, which if you haven't seen the show is when I think a blue card D card appeared. I think they called it with a black strip on it, and they swiped that, and that's how they Matrix Digivolve into their, I believe, the ultimate form. And yeah, I just feel like that was the call. And you can like feel the pain from your partner if they get hurt. The human counterpart gets hurt as well. So I like that twist. I like the twist of bonding the Digimon and the Digimon and the partner earlier on than usual and more. And I think that's an interesting concept. And not everyone can do it. What I like is that not everyone can do it. There's only 3 of them that were able to achieve ultimate form. And I could appreciate that. And I also thought that this series had some going for it where it could have, at the title of this whole thing, got a sequel. Because I feel like there's so much more story to tell. If you remember the end of the season, Takata goes back to like that place where you hit Guilmon sometimes, and there's a portal to the digital world in the back. Again, for those that didn't watch the series, don't remember, majority of this series takes place in the human world. It didn't take place in the digital world, and that's another thing that people didn't like. For me, I didn't really mind it because when we got to the digital world arc, it was cool. It wasn't bad. I just don't even think it was the best part of the season. I think the best part of the season was the Devas, them finding them, because them Devas were crazy. Them Devas wanted to box. They didn't care about nothing. They were annoying. They wanted to box. They didn't care. The chicken one, especially the rooster, that one was one of the most annoying Devas out there. Like that rooster was crazy. So there are a lot of cool moments that I think can lead to a sequel series. I would like to see one, if nothing else. Like, I think you can get Takato another chance. I feel like season 3 developed him as a leader, and the sequel season to this one, I could see him fully embracing that. And maybe there's another threat to the digital world this time. So they have to go back to the digital world and spend a lot more time there. I think we did all you could do in the human world, but I think going back to the digital world or going in between more frequently, like how they did in season 2, I think you add that to a sequel series for this one, I think you're getting something super special. I really like that. And again, there's so many cool characters, bro. And I would also like to see Jerry get another crack at being a Digidestined. I would really like to see Jerry become more in the fold in a sequel series. I think Jerry has been through some of the most trauma in that entire season, probably in the entire universe of old Digimon. And I think giving her a bigger role in a sequel series would be amazing. And I think it will allow her to grow so much more, not only as a character and a person in her show, not in her show, but in the show, but I think that it would just create something super unique that we don't get. Cause we have Ken, we have certain characters, but something about Jerry's character, I just feel like there's so much potential there that she could become even better than Rika. I think Jerry could become one of the better Digidestins, not only just in fan favorites, but like in just like how good she is as a Digidestin, as a card player, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I think Jerry actually has chops to be someone special in that regard. And man, Terriermon is one of my favorites. I do like Terriermon. I know a lot of people found Terriermon annoying. I understand. I just really like Terriermon. Like, what else can I say? But more so, I like Terriermon's ultimate form. Like, because Terriermon's mega form was literally just a mech, which was cool, but it was kind of creepy looking, I'm not gonna lie. But Terriermon's ultimate, which is I think it was Rapidmon was beast, man. Rapidmon's attacks were so cool. Rapid Fire, Miracle Missile, Tri-Beam, Trinity Burst, like it was what Trinity Burst was like, I think that was like a combined move, but like I know for sure Rapid Fire, Miracle Missile, and Tri-Beam was so cool. I'm a huge Tri-Beam fan. Shout out to TN. But like I love Rapidmon, bro. And like their ultimate forms are pretty cool. All of them. War Growlmon, I wasn't too. It just felt like a weirder version. Like I like Agumon's ultimate way more than Guillomon's ultimate. But Guillomon's ultimate is kind of savage looking though. It's a sick design. It's a sick design. Probably just a hater, but like because having a dinosaur with a metal jaw, like a metal grill in their mouth, bruh, with like two blades as arms and then a freaking jetpack. Like, okay, actually kind of sick. It sounds really sick when you put it that way. But like, yeah, I was the designs for these Digimon are cool. And what's interesting about about Guilmon, is that Guilmon had no data on him. And to me, because that had the highest potential of all of them, because Guilmon was created specifically by Takado's drawing. So Guilmon was never a Digimon that was programmed in the game, so he had no data. And that was super interesting. And that's something I feel like I wish they kind of would have made more of an emphasis on in the series. I believe they did a decent job, but I feel like that could have been more like out, like just more emphasis on that. And I also would have liked, because I know they did it kind of with the D card, but everyone got that. Everyone got that. So I would have liked Takada be able to, like, maybe that's his special unique power or something, is imagination. You know, like how in the season one there was like courage, friendship, like they had those crests and stuff. Maybe for Rika, Henry, and Takado is more of something like that would have been interesting. Like Takado has imagination and he can kind of, utilize, and I know because they have a card game to sell, but at the end of the day, whatever he makes up in the show, they could just print a card of that and just have it be part of the deck. So technically, they could still do it. But it'd been interesting to have him have a couple of unique cards because he created. Like maybe he didn't have enough money to buy the card game, or maybe his parents wouldn't buy him the cards or something. Something unique. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna just create my own cards and play with my friends, and those get scanned by his Digivice. So he has a couple of cards that are unique to Guilmon. Like that would have been something interesting, and that's something they could even explore again in a sequel series. I know it sounds wild because they didn't really make it. Well, no, it doesn't sound wild because, again, Guilmon is a drawing. The D card, technically, I think for his was also a drawing. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. So they could use the two of them. Like, so there's a precedent for him doing that. So the sequel series could be them unlocking that, like, in season 2, I think it was I forgot they couldn't use Digivolution, so they had to use some armored Digivolve or something like that. So maybe for a sequel series, that's what they do. Like, they each have like maybe some kind of power, a power unique to them. And for Takado's, is imagination. I don't know what Rika and Henry's would be like off the top of my head. I don't want to spend like another 20 minutes trying to think of that right now, but I know for Takado's, canonically, he has done this before. It's not something new, so it's something he could do. And maybe it's something he can only do in the digital world or Humor, who cares? But it would have been interesting to see them do that. So that would be interesting. And again, Henry was cool. Terriermon is dope. I think Terriermon and Guillemon's relationship, I think, is really cool. It was cute. It was unique. There is like an FBI squad. There's like a Digimon hunting squad that's like the FBI, which is kind of hilarious. That was jokes. But it was cool. It was cool. And then you always have that human that's like in the digital world, got like stuck in the digital world. I think it was Rio for season 3. He's cool. I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of forgettable. But Cyberdramon is dope. Cyberdramon is a savage looking Digimon that is so cool. And I think Cyberdramon is his ultimate form. I think he's just in his ultimate form for the majority of it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Cyberdramon is his ultimate. When he transforms into Justimon, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of sick. That mega is kind of sick. It was like a superhero type thing, and Justimon is kind of sick. The design is very interesting. I can see the inspiration from season 4. A lot of the designs for the Digimon, you can definitely get that from a lot of season 3. Season 3 heavily inspired season 4, in my opinion. Just based off the fusion of the Digimon, based off the character designs for some of these guys. It just doesn't surprise me, but yeah, Cyberdramon is cool. I didn't really like Rio as much, but Cyberdramon was one of him, bro. He was one of him. He just looked like a savage. The design was so cool, and he just wanted smoke. Like, he just wanted smoke, bro. Like, I appreciated that. So yeah, I just think this series gets so much hate, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. Like, it's really good. So I don't really know if, if we'll ever get, I mean, I'm sure we won't. I'm 99% sure we will never get we might get a remaster before we get a sequel series, but I feel like Tamers is so good. I mean, the homeroom teacher for Takado had some, relevancy to the series and really cared about Takado and all her students, and was a character that mattered to college. Like, the parents for Digidestin mattered. There was a lot of moments for the characters in the series where, yes, they, instead of fighting, they would have these moments with their parents or with their friends that weren't yet Digidestin or not Digidestin at all, and like they would interact with them. They would do stuff like that, and I think that's really cool. Like, it just adds to the series. There's a lot of background characters who had words or had stuff, because usually there'd be a lot of characters who don't do anything, don't really say much. They're just there to service something. But these characters like added something to the story. They were interesting. They were funny. This one was a very funny series, actually. But I think the humor was definitely stronger in season 1 and 2. Season 1 more than anything else. But season 3 of Digimon was definitely probably one of the more serious toned and more adult toned shows. Because there's a lot of things in this season that you don't really understand or get as much till you get older. And I think that there's so much about growing up and about grasping and grappling with different emotions as you grow up. And not just like puberty stuff, but like more so, again, depression, friendship, humanity, empathy. Like, Takao, one thing I really like about him is he's very empathetic, and he cares so much. Like, he cared so much about Jerry and what Jerry was going through, and really he went above and beyond for Jerry, and I really appreciated their relationship, which is why I would really like a sequel series in which their relationship grows. And I don't mean that in a way that is as romantic or not, but just like grow in general. Like, I think there's so much there to explore with so many characters. I feel like Tamers was a good setup for these characters. Don't get me wrong, it was a great, it's its own story, proper story from start to finish. But I just feel like there's so much more you could do. If nothing else, these characters can do. That if you can create a decent story and just have the characters elevate the story to another level, you can really get something special. And I'm really surprised that this one didn't. I think all the episodes from season 1 through 4 are kind of similar in episode count. I could be very wrong about that. But season 3 didn't feel as long as season 1 or 4. I feel like season 1 and 4 felt like the longest to me. And not even in a negative way, but just felt longer. But yeah, there's some cool characters here, and there's some cool moments in Digimon Tamers, man. And again, Rika's evolution of just caring about not only Renamon, but caring about Takato and Henry, and just caring about, going to the digital world with them and having those adventures. I really like that. And Rika's moments with her, I think it's her mom and her grandma, and Rika going through that, Rika's more like a tomboy kind of situation, and her mom is so proper. Her mom and grandma are so proper and into like fashion. I think her mom's an actress or something. So like they want Rika to be someone she's not. She grapples through that and goes through that progression. And I love that there's episodes where they let that breathe and they let the characters tackle what's going on in their personal life that has nothing to do with fighting Digimon, which sounds risky, and it is. It's very risky, but it adds so much depth and character growth to these characters that you can do nothing but appreciate that. And I highly, highly appreciate it. And that's me done. I'm done with yapping. Watch Digimon Tamers if you haven't. Watch it again if you haven't watched it in a while. It's a really pleasant watch. Background characters are hilarious. There's great character moments, great moments in general. Also love the parents play so much more of a role, by the way, before I get done yapping. The characters, the Digidestin, the Trinity, and their parents, their parents and siblings and stuff, play so much more of a role in this season than any other season because they're in the human world way more. So they have way more interaction with like non-Digimon related people, and it makes the world seem so much bigger and just different. It's just different from all the other seasons, and I can really appreciate that. Now, don't get me started on season 4. I'm not going to talk about season 4 in this video, but if you want me to, let me know in the comments. And also, let me know your favorite Digimon moment in season 3 or your favorite Digimon period in any season. And keep geeking out. See you on the next one. Peace.